Hi there, welcome to Carcassonne. It's today with Mexico versus Ukraine, a friendly match as usual, but there's only a week left until the WTCOC starts, and this here is a preview of a match we will see in about 5 weeks when Mexico and Ukraine will meet in the WTCOC. And that's exactly why today we have a 7 versus 7 game. And let's just quickly change to BGA. All of the 14 players we'll see today or might see today are on the respective WTCOC teams. So Nalaheim will cover duels 1, 2, 3 mostly, so I'll stick to the other 4. That means these 4 mainly, but as you already can see, I've got 5 browser windows open, so I'll cover 1 duel in the main slot in the middle, and the other 4 will be streamed in one of the corners, but I won't commentate on these games. Maybe a sentence here or there, but that's it. I might change the duels if it's necessary. So, some of these players have history, but I've already checked the dates. Most of the games were years ago, so not really anything of significance. Let's just hop in a game. How about let's refresh them once more. How about complex V&H versus Basiliuk? Now let's put the scoreboard out of the way. So, and then let's load the other games once they started, that is. And now I just need to get the Zoom working. Yeah, it was working 10 minutes ago, but I guess I have to fix this. Okay, here we go. Just have to reload this once more, and now it should work. So, what's happening? Complex V&H closed these 2 cities, it looks like. Okay, right now just need to change the colors so all Ukrainians will play blue. Yep, yellow equals Mexico. Ukraine is blue. So I think I'm finally set. Next time I'll start a few minutes earlier, I guess. So what are we having here? We have 3 closed cities, a scoreboard lead of 9 points for complex V and H, which is the yellow player here, and blue trying to score city on the left, but this is already restricted and 2 daggers are already gone. So the question for yellow here is, do you even take this cap or do you wait to block this? And he opts to just extend the city on the right side. Blue prevents the block, hopes for one of the 2 remaining road Doritos or a horse. Yellow now exerts more pressure. Blue can't easily defend, opts for the indirect defense, considering yellow would need a dagger to totally block this. That should work out for them. This farmer here is quite nice because blue really wants to get the monastery meeple back sometime, but now it's more or less blocked, and my best guess is blue won't put anything there. This is a job for yellow. But right now this field is only worth 9 points and blue has the open side, so blue can extend this. Yellow at the bottom as well, of course. And then in the end we will see how large this one gets. Yellow now trying to kill this here, preventing blue from getting a larger city. And now this is killed, but blue might get to win the mini battle in the end. With one or more of the big city tiles to connect over here, for example. Maybe killing the yellow meeple on the small city as well. Now blue's road meeple is quite an endangered species. One starting tile has already gone out, and they need a curve or road monastery here to save this, and because this would add a point to yellow, this here won't likely be completed. At least I don't see any reason for blue to go over there, unless they really need to attack the field this way. So blue goes for the connection here, maybe once they closed or extended their city even for a block. This of course would be way better for them and at least would equalize these mini battles here, or this mini battle. Scoreboard is almost tied, and the other features are evenly distributed as well. The exception is the city on the right side, and there still are Doritos available. Not a lot, just 1 field Dorito and 1 splitter. But still blue likely has to take action against this city. Yellow opted not to defend here because the pieces to connect, except for the last cow, they need on the right side anyway. Instead, they connected their farmer to the main field, hoping to do the same from the bottom and then taking over this 9-point field, which would net them only 3 points, but still 3 points are 3 points. So blue now tries to prevent yellow from closing the city and gets a pretty nice tile to do so, because there's no road Dorito left. All 5 are gone. And there's only 1 horse left. So if yellow wants to close the city on the right, they would need a cap in the end, and this would allow blue to either attack or maybe, for example, with the last cow, block this totally. But I'd guess yellow would risk this, and that's why this here actually might even be a problem, because this allows a defense for yellow. For example, let's take one of the roses, which would have been quite nice for yellow to score 2 points and pre-complete their city. So this is not without risk, but it also limits this square, the connection square for the field unification. But there are still, I think, 2 straights left. So now an indirect defense might work. This is the last cow. All extenders are gone. The vertical splitters, there's 1 left to block blue over here. And in the meantime, blue blocked yellow's city completely. So this square is officially dead. And with 9 tiles remaining, I might just whip out the scoreboard here. If they even let me score fast, because the tempo is quite high. So let's check this. Yellow has a 6-point and a 7-point monastery, and their ruin is worth 10 points on the right side. They're just added field 6 points, 1 point at the bottom. Blue has a 13-point scoreboard lead and now owns a 9-point field up top. Yellow's field is worth 9 points as well. So if I'm not mistaken, blue should be ahead by 3 points. Let's check again. Their monastery is worth 8, their road 3 points, their field at the bottom 6 points, their ruin on the right side 3 points, the field on the top around their monastery is worth 9 points, their scoreboard lead is 13 points. And yellow has a 6-point field on the left side, a 7-point monastery in the middle, a 10-point ruin on the right side, a 6-point monastery, now 7 at the top, 1 point for their... Yep, so this works out, but blue just closed their monastery and added 3 points and expanded their lead. So it looks like an easy win for blue in this case. And yeah, blue takes another 4 points. So this should be a 10-point win for them, unless yellow could connect another city to some of their one of their fields, but they can't. So let's quickly refresh the scoreboard. And is a 10-point win for Basiliuk here. And they are actually the fastest players here. So let's switch this to any preference, somebody. And let's check. So Pavel Bryn and Manarori are almost done. That is not the one I pick. Let's pick Daniel Ayala and Adria. And then I'll open the second game of Complex V and H versus Basiliuk on the bottom left. Oh, what's up here? Adria, the huge lead. On the scoreboard at least. So that's 22 points, exactly like his compatriot just a few minutes ago. And yellow has a 6-point field up top plus 9-point ruin, and then there's another ruin for 8 points. One meeple in the middle for 1 point. And blue has city meeples for 4 and 1 point plus a road meeple worth 5 points. And there actually aren't more farmers here because all the fields are quite small except for the one up top. And now I have to check the log, because what did blue do here? Okay, blue did score the city up top. It just looked a bit wonky. Pavel Bryn and Manarori tied their game, but looks like Pavel Bryn was the starting player, so in the end Manarori won this one. So now that blue took the field, the question is, can they still close their city in the middle? And it looks like they could. The splitters are gone, but there is no field Dorito left, and all the 4 cows are gone as well, so this here is dead. But they might expand their field at the bottom. Yellow took another field, so both added 3-point fields to their arsenal. But this way, blue, of course, is still ahead by 8 points. And it won't be easy for yellow to close this gap. Blue takes another 4 points, adds 3 points to both their and yellow's field, of course. But that's really no problem. So yellow with their last meeple in hand, of course, they'd really like to meeple the monastery here, but it actually won't help them. And I don't see any way for them to counter blue's 3 meeples left. Lawyer won their first game versus IMD 5. So Adria here just needs to score some points. Doesn't exactly matter where. This is a safe win for them. So still, if you prefer any game, just say so. I'm open to covering anything more or less. So considering this one is more or less over, let's switch these games again and open up the second one of Complex V&H and Basiliuk. Zaharik also won their first game versus Lichida Killer, so the Ukrainians are ahead after the first games here. In the end, it was a 16-point win for Adria. And now let's focus on the Basiliuk versus Complex V&H game here. Let's see if the Mexican is able to tie this duel. But this config here in the middle really doesn't look good for them. Right now, blue's road scores +1 point and 3 starting tiles are gone. So the city more or less should be dead, although there is still an option if yellow were able to close this and then get the last starting tile, of course. So blue takes the points here and pre-closes their road, hopes to get this curve, which would also kill Yellow City, because yellow would need 2 starting tiles, but there actually is none left because I just missed the one here. So this city is already dead, and this actually wouldn't kill it. But blue doesn't care. They just like to get their meeple back. And again, I should switch the colors. So all Ukrainians are playing blue. Now this is set. And with a tight scoreboard, but a 9-point field, which is a tad difficult to attack here. It actually still looks equal, although I'd slightly favor blue here. Their monastery is rather easy to liberate, and then the city at the bottom would be tight, and there are still Doritos left and even one big city tile to connect. And once that's done, these 2 fields here by blue should really work in their favor. And at the top, they could still connect. And now they do. Maybe they thought even a second about me playing the farm, but it's quite closed. And only worth 3 points. Complex V and H with the yellow meeples attacks Basilyuk's most promising field, I'd say, on the top, because there are still 2 city caps there, and the field has lots of green squares available to add more caps, more cities. So let's check the scores. After the first batch of games, the Ukrainians lead 6-1. So time for Mexico to fight back here and win at least a few of them to get a few deciders here. Meanwhile, I'll have to check a few technical things here. Okay, so yellow doubles down on their field attack, but now this square is killed and there's only this road to attack. Considering all monasteries are gone, they need one of the vanilla caps, but all 5 are gone as well, so this square is actually dead as well. So blue successfully defended their field, and unless yellow were to attack somewhere else. This will stay in blue's hand. Pavel Bryn won their second game against Manarori. This time no tie. So at least one duel will feature a decider here. And in this one, these rather lousy farmers right now score 9 points for yellow. But I guess sometime down the road, blue might even connect them to deduct 3 points from yellow's score. Whereas this one might stay there, or if need be, could connect to blue's main field. If there even are curves remaining, looks like quite a few are gone already. Yep, all curves are gone. So this really looks quite problematic for yellow. Their biggest hope is this city at the bottom and preventing blue's connection here. With 6, or rather 7 big city tiles gone, any city piece over here would limit this to a 50-50, namely the last cow. But considering there aren't many tiles left, yellow just opted to take points instead of defending this and meepling this to prevent blue's move over here. But nonetheless, this is blue's best move. They could even drop a farmer, which wouldn't do anything, but they'd have the meeple. So 6 points yellow, 11, 20, 25, 28, 24, 15, 6. Why do I use yellow? So blue needs to score. How about these 4 points? Yeah, these 4 points would work out as well. And I think blue should be ahead at least by 1 point here. And I must have missed a feature. Anyway, Basiliok wins this one with 5 points. So this duel is over. Let's pick another one. How about Manarori versus Pavel Bryn's decider here? And then I'll open the match of the duel of Lichida Killer versus Zaharik on the bottom right. Oh, this looks bad for the Mexican. 2 killed meeples for 11 points. Only bigger problem for blue is this square. But there still are 2 starting tiles left to close the hole there, which wouldn't only score 7 points plus for this city, but also expand their field and add this city plus the new one to the field. And that's why yellow might be meepling the farm here sometime soon, just to prevent blue from being alone on this 9-point field, which could also grow here once yellow would get and use the last crossroad to liberate their meeple and score 2 additional points. But the last crossroads actually was in blue's hands, so they pre-finish one side of a road they likely will take once they get their hands on one of the starting tiles. So now, in addition to adding a field meeple, yellow should take this road as compensation. Blue's monastery used just to score 3 points. With 4 meeples and 30 plus tiles remaining, they could have also gone for the 8 points, considering the mini battle would have been won anyway. But they opt to keep more meeples, likely expecting a field fight about this now 12-point field, because it already features 4 cities and there might be an option at the top to connect this. Yellow blocks blue city on the left side. Still there's one starting tile left, so it's not dead. And actually, if blue gets any Dorito shaped piece, I don't think they would use this anywhere else, that is. Just pre-closing the city and then hoping to win the 50-50 might be worth it. So even with the splitter now, this could be an option, but I guess they'd rather close their small city, meeple the cap, of course, and they wouldn't mind if this square would get killed. Taking these 2 cities from the left and the right side is just 6 points in the bank for them. Blue prevents the immediate block, or tries to prevent the immediate block by yellow, still hoping to get a Dorito and then the starting tile, or vice versa for that matter. Yellow severely limits the completion hopes for blue's small city on the left side. Quite a lot of the road plus city caps are gone. There's still 1 rose left and also 1 dagger for this square, plus the starting tile, but that would be used by blue on their city on the left. Blue snatches another field and would be really great for yellow to get a monastery here. A 13-point move, but blue gets the penultimate one and is now thinking about where to use it. Scoring 3 points might be just a move, then trying to block this here so yellow can't kill this, but too late. Yellow gets the road Dorito to kill blue city. So this looks to me like blue should be ahead, even though yellow's monasteries on the right side are looking quite promising. So blue has a field up top for 6 points. And now they even add more caps to this field. But at least yellow gets to take one of the cities there. So now it's 9 points for the field. The other fields are worth 9 and 12 points. The city on the left side is worth 8 points. The other city worth 4. Now 5. Yellow scored a city up top. Now meeples the field. Has 2 monasteries and ruins. But overall, blue is still ahead. And they know they are still ahead. They secure this field. Unless yellow would get all the curves to kill this square here. And there's still, oh, it's in yellow's hand, the 1 rose left. So let's count the curves, which would be pretty necessary for blue. And it looks like there are still 2 curves left. So if blue gets one, I'd consider this game over. So actually this block here was unnecessary because there's no starting tile left. And yellow just missed to score 1 point extra here. This one is huge for them, of course. It scores 7 points and so right now I think the monasteries now 7 and 8. This is a dead heat here, but up top blue should have won this game by, I don't know, roughly 8 points. Yeah, 9 points in the end for Pavel Brin. Zaharik won their second game versus Lee Cheetah Killer. Fan Alex N won their second game as well, and Samuelson as well. So we only have 2 matches still running, and that's IMD5 versus Lawyer and Daniel Ayala versus Adria. So now I might switch the layout. Let's open up the game of Daniel Ayala and Adria first. It loads, that is. So how about this? I think this works. So I guess Otto, aka Nallerheim, is still commentating the tables 1, 2, 3. So IMD5 versus Lawyer. Yeah, natural moves over here. Daniel Ayala put the monastery up top to add a second attacking platform versus Yellow City, but Yellow got a city cap and just close this one here. This one would have been placed over here, but then you'd risk a block next to your monastery. But this way you risk your city getting blocked or at least limited by yellow, just as it happened. This curve by blue I don't really like because it's a prime monastery spot and you'd rather use a monastery there. And if yellow wants to attack from there or limit your monastery, by God, let them, because this would also limit their field at least over here. So maybe just taking this here would have been the better move. This would also have bolstered the monastery spot. But of course, if you play this, yellow is a tad more likely to get the next monastery. So this might not work in your favor, but still the upside is nice. I would have gone for this. And let me switch the colors again. So blue, the Ukrainian, yellow, Mexico, Daniel Ayala. He gets to close the city and adds 2 road points en passant. That's quite a nice tile, even the best tile they could have hoped for. And let's just see if one of these two, so Daniel Ayala and IMD5, is able to defeat their counterparts here to at least get Mexico on the match scoreboard. I think the Ukrainians are favorites in more or less any of their matches, except maybe against China, Japan, RCP. But even then, they have an abundance of masters, and actually it's quite tricky to even get into this team. And if they all play to the best of their abilities, they finally should get a WTCOC medal. But we'll see about that in May and June. Yeah, hi Sergey. Yeah, that was 5 bots at once, but just to show them. I don't know if anyone has the mental capabilities to follow more than 2, maybe 3 games at once. So right here the position is more or less equal. Blue's field in the middle is a tad iffy. It would be more or less dead if yellow would close this. And I hope they don't liberate their monastery meeple now, because that actually would help blue quite a lot. So building a loop road over here, and then you'd have green squares on the right side. Yeah, of course, the 5 boards were with the WTCOC matches in mind. But I still have to work out some kinks. For example, an auto zoom feature would be quite nice. but we'll see about that. So yellow tries to block blue's monastery instead of going over here and limiting the field, plus maybe pre-building a nice, what is it, 8-point road for them, and they get punished. So now the field's potential is more or less excellent. Of course, yellow still could try to kill blue's cap on the left side, but I guess blue will prevent this now. Yeah, of course they do. So, oh, they even go for this. Yeah, okay, meepling the farm. That works. Else, if you don't meeple this farm and if you don't own the farm on the other side of this configuration, this move here more or less is a waste because it only nets you 2 points. But in this case, these are 14 points. Yep, nice move by yellow. Blocking this, preventing blue from taking a 2-0 majority on the farm. And yeah, still having chances maybe over here to attack the farm later on. Considering there's only one starting tile gone, this attack would also work. And now they hope to get a city and then attack from the bottom left. So now it's time for yellow to liberate their monastery meeple. They could have also taken the road, but 2 of the roses are gone, 3 rotoritas are gone as well. And this square here is limited, so this road would be way too risky. If they'd only had placed the curve where now the road monastery is sitting, well, the game would have been quite different. This square is killed because all crossroads are gone already. And this here by blue is an invitation. Because now it's rather easy for yellow to attack the field. Now they just need something over here to block the connection route for blue's leftmost farmer. Yeah, looks like the setup, the scoreboard isn't ideal this way. So this looks like a rather huge ruin, because I don't see this getting closed in a large majority of cases. So blue even just puts a city cap there, knowing full well that any connection by yellow is quite unlikely because there are all 5 field Doritos on the board, in addition to 3 cows. So there's exactly 1 piece left for yellow to connect here. And both splitters are gone as well. So this move here shows why Adria has an elo rating in the upper 700s. Now he just scores the 4 points. The small field this creates actually is no big problem for them, and Daniel Ayala can't defend right now. Might opt to go here, although this actually doesn't change anything, so scratch that idea. Let's check how many straights even are in the deck. So there's only 1 straight left for blue to attack here. And of course still the Road Monastery. So right now there's no other way to attack this field except maybe for this one here. You need the last rose or one of the still remaining starting tiles. So actually the chances of this option would be quite good. But considering blue has only 1 meeple in hand and they are rather unlikely to get any meeple back sometime soon, I only see yellow taking this, and it would be a great chance for them winning this then 15-point field, maybe even 18 once this cap gets taken by someone. What I said about this square, you can apply to this one as well, and that one, yeah, with all crossroads gone, it works. But is this really necessary right now? I guess so, because blue likely would kill this here if they get a chance, and then this quite good attacking option is gone, and you still have 4 curves, I think. Let's check. Looks like only 5. So still 4 curves in the deck plus all 3 right-handed daggers. Yes, Elias, it's exactly that. It's a slight hint that this stream was with 1 main window plus 4 side screens. I lose the tags in the title once people get accustomed to me using split screens. I think I've already I've also tagged this, so it should be visible somewhere, but YouTube's interface on the different pages and notifications, yeah, I really don't know if this gets picked up somewhere. So blue just opts to kill this. Of course, with only 1 meeple in hand, they can't meeple the field even if they'd really like to. And actually, we are missing out on 7 connection pieces with, I think it was roughly 20 tiles when he laid this farmer. 2 moves in a row. Rather unlikely, and now there's no way to defend. So connecting on the left side for +4 might work for them. With 2 meeples in hand, you could also take this one or that here. Blue gets their attacking option going by drawing the last straight, and yellow now connects. So right now, these 12 points are yellows. Let's assess the score in a more detailed way. So 8 points for Blue's Monastery, 4 for the road, 6 for the ruin on the right side, 7 for the left one. Right now 6 for their field on the left side. Yellow scores 2 points on the left side, 1 on the right side for their city parts, 4 for the ruin, and 12 for the field right now, but they own this by virtue of a 20 points scoreboard lead, which is down to taking the city here. And with 2 meeples in hand versus the 1 by Adria, taking one of these 6 point with a curve, even a 9 point field, should be the winning move for yellow here. And don't forget, they still have 1 piece to connect to either one of Blue's ruins. And that's why this defensive move here actually works. But there's also a chance to ninja here. But I don't see Adria going for this. Now, I think he has to take the 9 point field. Even though this looks like a lost cause for them. But there aren't really that many pieces to score points here. Are still city caps out there, but yeah, getting 2 in a row and then meepling a farm, or the farm that is, seems quite tough to execute. So he tries to block this option here while also scoring 3 points with the last horse. But now that yellow snatched the field, even the 4 points won't really help blue, I think. So that's actually a 12 point field on the left side now. It's worth the same as the main field. But blue gets to connect here and scores 4 points. So we can deduct 1 12 point field and a 6 point field from the scoreboard. But still yellow is ahead by 10 points. And the highest scoring feature one could take would be this 6 point field. But you'd need something with the road over here. Or nope, the road monastery is gone, so this is dead. But the 6 points wouldn't help blue. But still, yellow diligently checking all the options. And they just opt to block one of the attacking routes into their field. Because if blue were to attack here, they could defend this way, because all crossroads are now gone. Blue added 3 points to their ruin up top. So the lead by yellow has shrunken a tiny bit to 7 points now. They just take a 6-point road and that's it then. Adria with 2 moves left. Yeah, he goes for the ninja attack, but I think there should still be the 1 curve left, but it doesn't actually matter. So 12 points for them, but yellow scored the ruin up top. So +8, I think, and +9 in the end it should be. Yep, +9, 97, 88, and Daniel Ayala wins the decider versus Adria. And the main problem in this one, I think, was this straight. I actually don't really understand. Oh, let me get back to the final situation here. I actually don't really understand why Adria put this there at this time, at least, because creating an attacking platform versus yellow's city here wasn't really that necessary, and this allowed yellow to attack here, and else blue could have defended this field rather easily. And then, of course, there was this attack by yellow, which was really nice considering there were a lot of curves left and no immediate blocking tile. Any block would have needed a platform and then the kill, so at least the 2 tiles. And with roughly 20 tiles remaining and 7 connection pieces, this was highly probable to be successful. So in the end, the Ukrainians won this one with 5 duels to 2, and the Mexicans will hope to have a bit more luck on their side in their WTCOC encounter with Ukraine in, I think, the second half of May that should take place. So let's quickly check what's up in the next days. So there are 3 friendly matches tomorrow. I don't know if I'd be able to cover any of the midday streams. Right now it's quite unlikely, but I might be able to cover the Hungarians versus UK. Let's check the lineup. Oh, no Siegfried versus Deadmat. Shame. I would have liked that one. But there are a few interesting duels, so yeah, maybe maybe I'll cover this. If not, someone else likely will. So thanks for tuning in and see you soon. Bye bye.